Welcome, everyone. Today we have another one of our missionaries on with our interviews. He is going to be writing for The Trumpet this month, and we have Pastor Matt Van Dyken. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here with you.
Maybe you could just tell us about your work. You've been quite a few years already in Mexico. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit of the background of yourself, how you got to the mission field, and how the work has gone for you.
Yeah, so I guess the work was started about 25 years ago by your father, Harry Bout, and his wife, Joanne. And then you were called after that, and I don't know which year it was, but 2000 something. And so that's where it goes back to, basically starting from scratch, new work. People asked, or he asked all throughout Mexico, where's the best place to plant a church? And everybody said Tepic. Nayarit, been quite neglected over the years. So it's sort of a backwoods corner of Mexico, if I can say it that way. But it's a sizable city here, 300,000 people, something like that. So yeah, the church is about 80 something people, or before pandemic anyway. So something like 80 something. I don't know how many members, but something like that on a Sunday. So we're thankful for that. How did I get in the mission field? Yeah, I wasn't planning to be a missionary. I studied to be an engineer, worked as an electrical engineer for a couple of years, but your father invited me to come down on a team. So I came once and came twice, and I think 3 times in total that I was here on the team, also with yourself. And that was really what the Lord used in my life. I was also helping with the migrant ministry in Vineland, in Jordan Station, for numerous years, as well with the Mexican and Guatemalan now outreach there. So that's I wondered if the Lord was calling me to the work here, and began pursuing that more, and went to seminary in Mid-America, graduated in 2011, and I've been on the field for 10 years with my wife, Anne Marie, also from Ontario. And now the Lord has blessed us with 4 children. So it's a bit of the history.
Wonderful. And you just recently, or you're soon going to become a Mexican citizen, right?
Yes, Lord willing, next Monday, flying out to Mexico City to pick up my Mexican certificate. So
that's very exciting.
Been a long time coming.
Wow. And your children have all been born in Mexico?
Yes, all 4 of them. So they're all Mexicans. So my wife will be the only one left out. So we'll see if she does it or not.
Okay, very good. Maybe you could just go over, Matt, some of the different aspects to your ministry, to the things you're involved with day to day.
I guess most of the work that I do would be sort of what what a typical pastor would be doing, just in a separate context in a different cultural context in Mexico. But lots of Bible studies and preaching on Sunday as well. And so takes a lot of my work, discipling people. So yeah, in that sense, it's quite similar to what you would know. The church is much more stable now. We're we'll talk about that more in a bit, but we're in the process of nominating 4 office bearers, Lord willing, 2 elders and 2 deacons. So yeah, hopefully, Lord willing, the church here can call their own pastor, and then I could possibly move elsewhere. So that's sort of the long-term goal. So what else do I do? A lot of discipling. So new members classes. It's very exciting as well, because you're working with people who a range of backgrounds, Christians from other churches, but about half and half from Catholic Church, which doesn't preach the gospel here. Right. So a lot of new believers as well. So I always really appreciate that and enjoy that, working with new believers. And it's a delight opening the word with people and seeing them really soak it in and want to learn more about it. So in terms of other things that I do, just to answer your question, I also work we work as a church in a drug rehab house right around the corner from my house here. And so we've been there for about half a year, and I was just there last night about 20 guys there, former addicts. So, or some of them, well, you see these men and you realize, really the Lord, just like in all of us, right? But really, it's the Lord's work, and you can't change hearts. So we just need to preach the gospel and share the word with him, but trust that the Lord will bring the fruit in his time as well. So it's a real delight. I love the work there.
Yeah. Well, you see men who have true needs. They understand their need. And you just pray that the Lord would free them from that vice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are some of the things you love about ministering in Mexico, even culturally? Maybe just, I think our people would love to know that. What's exciting about ministering in Mexico?
Wow. There's a lot that I could answer for that. The food is incredible. Sorry to everybody else, but I love Mexican food and the spice. And Mexicans can cook anybody I know. Not outbake, that's a different matter. And the food is such a big part of the culture as well. So you go to visit somebody new and you can talk for at least half an hour or an hour. I've talked for an hour and a half once with somebody. I mean, he was mostly doing the talking, but about food, just about food. So it's very, very Mexican. And it's really a gateway. In Canada, you talk about the weather. In Mexico, you talk about food, and it's really a gateway into people's lives, and people love food. So
yeah, the weather's boring there, right? It's always sunny. So
yes, yeah, it's always the same during dry season, and rainy season is different, but dry season is beautiful. So yeah. The people love the people, and Mexicans are very, how do you say it, gentlemen. Like there's a certain respect and hospitality about them. Mm-hmm. And very warm culture, and it's beautiful. I mean, every culture has its drawbacks as well, so that's part of wherever you go, you realize things about your own culture too. But Mexicans are very hospitable, very warm, and we love to be together. That's actually the hardest part about COVID times, is we can't be together. So, but more people in a room and the more people in a house, the better. And just love those times.
Yeah, they don't care so much about their personal space, right?
No, yes. No. So this is very strange for Mexican.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Now with COVID, how have things gone for you? Has it been a difficult time? You've had lockdowns like the rest of us. Generally, how would you say the congregation's done?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's been so hard as in, I hear some stories as well from yourself and from other pastors as well, good friends in Canada and the States. And, so in some respects, we've been spared a lot of things. So lockdown, we did have a sizable lockdown for 3 months, I guess, till June. So that was difficult. But so that was all mainly online. But after that, we really were open. We've been open since June or July. We closed down a little bit in January because I got sick with the virus, and my wife as well. Fairly lightly, but I was sick with it for about 2 weeks. So, but for the most part, for the rest, we've been able to worship together. How does it affect us? It just becomes difficult it's just easy to withdraw, right? It's very easy to withdraw into your own little bubble and get comfortable with that. And to care for others becomes more difficult and sort of against your natural grain, which is normally you see them and you spend time with them and then you naturally do it, but now it just becomes more difficult. So that's been, you see that. I would say in general, the irregular people are more irregular and the regular people are more regular. So that's, both and, I would say, to answer that.
Okay.
So
now you have had one tough thing. One of your leaders in the church passed away recently.
Yeah.
That has been, I'm sure, a big thing for the church.
Yeah, that was a shock for everybody. That was David. He got sick in beginning of December, I think, or November, end of November, and passed away in January. And that was very difficult. He was sick for a long time and then was in the hospital for a long time and would get better and then go back again, and with COVID. And he's not much older than me, 49 years old. And yeah, one of the challenges, I know you're going to ask me about that in a little bit, but one of the challenges is about is having good leaders. And I can talk about that more in a minute, but he was everybody's first pick for a new elder. So that was very difficult. And our other elder is has a tumor right now and has been in bed for the last half a year at least. So just difficult for the congregation. We wonder what the Lord is doing. And he's a dear friend, a good friend, and leaves behind his wife and young son. It was quite a shock to everybody, but yeah, we trust the Lord is in control. I mean, we know where he is. The Lord took him to himself. Is a godly man, loved the Lord, and so we trust in the Lord. And but that was quite a shock to the church and to ourselves as well. It was difficult.
Yeah. In regards to what you just mentioned about leadership in the church, you have some new men that are training. Things are looking still hopeful despite David's passing away. Maybe flesh that out a little bit for us.
Yeah, Tepic is quite a transient city. So as we sometimes joke, a little bit amongst ourselves as well, but not so much. But the main industries here are sugar and government. So if you don't have a government job, then things are quite difficult. And or you get a job for 6 years and then the next new government comes in and you get pushed out. So people have come and gone. And we've had good men who've become members in the church, and then they ran out of work or something happened, and so they moved away. So that's been difficult. It's been very difficult for the church, because then you end up tending to be the leader and having to do things, and it falls on you, right? So we had a number of people in our church who attended for a long time, but didn't commit. But in the last couple of years, the last 3 years maybe, a number of them have made confession of faith and been baptized. Some of them come from other churches as well. But now four men in the church, they're good men to be nominated. They're nominated 2 for elder and 2 for deacon. So yeah, we're really excited about that, and really prayerful about that as well, that the Lord would bless that and use these men as well to lead the church, because I mean, you need good men in the church, and their wives, of course, women, to lead the church, because otherwise you're always limited, right? You're always held back. Absolutely. So yeah, so we're really excited about that.
How has it gone with your family, Matt? How do they form a part of what you do there?
Our family, yeah, they're wonderful part of the work. And I mean, not that they are the missionary, but we love to go to studies together. Well, we don't have so much studies now, so that's been a bit difficult. It's all online, but we love to go to studies, and then they form friends with the people from the church as well. And that's a very natural way to get to know people as well. So the people across the road, we're getting to be good friends with them as well. And through the kids want to play, and we get to know each other. And it's just a very natural way to get to know people and to care for them and to speak to them, Lord willing, in the long run about the Lord. Yeah. So yeah, they have a very fundamental place. My daughter is actually, she's 8 years old. She's well, now different people are taking it over, but she's been the main technician for doing the live streaming. So she's done a lot. And wow. She's really good. So yeah, and my wife, it's been difficult this last year because Martine's been sick, our elder. So I haven't been able to phone up to talk to him. He's always been a rock in the church. I haven't been able to talk to him because he's been, bedridden and very weak. And I'm not sure if it's cancer or not, but then you talk to different men in the church, or my wife, often run things by my wife. And so, yeah, so thankful for her, and such a dear woman to me.
Yeah, what a blessing. I know the
Yeah.
same has been true in my life. But that ministry team, right? And our children can be such a huge blessing as people see the gospel in action.
Yeah.
And, everyday life, when they're good and when they're bad. And it's just very healthy, but
Yep.
a wonderful way to get into community. I know.
Yeah, people are always watching you as well in the church, because you learn just as much by example or more so than by word, right?
Yeah.
So they always would scold us, or I think they would do the same to you. They would say to us, scold your children or punish your children in Spanish. We want to hear what you're saying, not in English. So yeah,
that's funny.
also, like you say, when they misbehave, right? That's part of how you disciple people, right? How do you deal with things like that in grace, right? So
that's right. Yeah. Matt, is there one person that you could tell us about that's been changed by the gospel? I know you're working with a lot of people. You could probably tell us a lot of stories. Is there one particular individual or family that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, you asked me that ahead of time, and I was thinking of Octavio. You know him as well, a good friend. His wife came to know the Lord during your father's ministry and yourself, if I remember correctly. And she's from a Catholic background. And I remember your father saying he was opening the Gospel of Romans with her, and sort of the light went on when she realized that that Jesus has done it all. Jesus has paid for all my sins, and it's a beautiful moment. I remember him saying that. But her husband, so she's such a blessing in the church, and very, very warm and very giving, and really cares for the people around her too. But her husband has attended the church for years and years and years, ever since then, I guess, on and off, but more so recently. In the last, I don't know how many years now, 8 years easily, he's been attending church very regularly, but always sort of just in the same spot, always never wanting to commit, sort of. And when you talk to him, he'd say, well, I know what it means to commit my life to the Lord, but I can't do it. He would say something like that. And about, when was that? Last November or October, I think. Sandra's cousin actually committed suicide. It was very sad. And but I was at the funeral. They asked me to speak at the funeral, and I had a lot of opportunity to speak to Octavio. And so we've talked lots of times in the past, and so yeah, you see something like that firsthand, and it really shakes you up, and it shakes your whole world. And you realize, we have to face death sooner or later, right? And he said that to me as well, and he knows it. And he said, no, I want to commit my life to the Lord. I can't wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes, right? So we just started a new members class. We've had 2 sessions now with him and with some others as well. And that's been a real delight. And I really see him really wanting to serve the Lord. Lots of great questions as always. He's quite a bright man. And yeah, just can see the Lord opening his heart. So it's a beautiful thing to see. He's a good friend. Known him for a long time. So I just say that story as well to myself and to you as well, whoever's listening, is to realize not to give up on people, because we so easily just give up. The person is always going to be that way, but that's not true. That's not true. I mean, the Lord can save all of us, right? And any one of us in whichever state we are in, praise be to his goodness. So yeah, I'm very thankful for that. After so many years of prayers, of his wife especially, she's been praying for him for as long as I can remember. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see the Lord answering prayers in his time.
Yeah, a lot of people have been praying for him for a long time. And yeah, that's a reminder, isn't it? That the Lord is good and he hears our prayers, and we need to, like you say, not give up on people. Matt, as we close, are there a few things that we can pray specifically for the work there in Tepic and for yourselves? Yeah,
I can think of 3 things. The first is Martine, our elder, who is sick with tumor, possibly cancer. We're not sure. He was very sick last week with an infection from complications. He's doing better this week, so I'm thankful for that. Just pray for him that he can get this tumor down in size so they can operate on him, and that the Lord restores him to health it's been a long road, a year. The second thing would be our office bearer nominations. So really excited, but it's also a critical time for them. So some of them are, quite, they don't feel qualified for it. And so, yeah, that the Lord would bless that in their lives and confirm that in their lives, and use them for His glory, right? And for their blessing as well, and for their wives as well. And Lord, to bless their wives as well in this and confirm that. And the last thing I thought of was just for our church. Not everything here is, you have the same struggles in every church. So sometimes it's been this way for a while now. You would have lots of people in church on a Sunday, and then you'd have a Bible study during the week, and you'd have just a couple of people show up. So it's also because of busy schedules, and all of that plays into it as well. So there's a number of different things, but just pray that the Lord is the rock of our lives, and we can found our lives upon the Lord as a church and as families and as individuals. So those three things, Martine, and our office bearers, and just church life day to day this time.
Be glad to remember those things, Matt. Just want to again say to you that we're praying for you, and we appreciate your work, and we just really pray that the Lord will prosper you, especially as we come out of COVID and you're able to kind of get back to normal a little bit. We have to pray that we get out of this, but we're not out of the woods yet. But I know that certainly there's a lot of things that you're hoping to do in the future, and a lot of us are hoping to do, but we pray that would be the case. And as we finish up this year, that the Lord would really prosper your work.
Yeah. Thank you, Rich.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being on. And we'll talk soon.
Yeah. God bless.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.